So here is a demo of domain name service in action. So we have this command dig that queries the domain name servers. Let me first type it without any arguments. So if I do this, this is what it displays. So as you can see, there is this question section here. And within the question section, it is basically asking what is the name server corresponding to the dot domain. So the dot domain refers to the very top of the hierarchy. So basically this is asking who are the root servers. And in the answer section, that information is given. As you can see, 13 root servers are listed, and these are the host names of the 13 root servers. And this here is specifying the time to live field for these particular entries. And here it also specifies who the local DNS server is. So this machine has contacted 10.129.1.1, who is the local DNS server on port 53 to obtain this information. Let's now check out a few top level domain servers. So for this, I'm going to type dig.com ns. Basically, I'm asking what are the name servers corresponding to the com domain. So again, a bunch are listed. So again, as you can see in the question, it is asking what are the name servers corresponding to com dot, and these are the name servers. Let's check out org. So org also has a few, not as many as com. Let's check out the Indian domain. This, it turns out, is being supported by the root servers themselves. Whereas if you try, for example, France and ask who the name servers corresponding to the France domain are, here this is being supported by some other hosts, not the root servers. Let's gather some information about the CSE department at IIT Bombay. So for this, let me find out what the web server IP address is. So for this, I'm typing dig www.csc.iitb.ac.in. You could also get the same information by explicitly specifying A at the end, which is asking for a type A entry. If you don't specify this also, it is fine. It will still give, it will assume it as a default type A entry. So it leads to the same information. So 10.105.1.3 is the IP address corresponding to the CSE web server. If you want to find out what is the name server corresponding to the CSE IITB domain, you type this. So this turns out to be dns.csc.iitb.ac.in. If you want to find out who is the name server corresponding to the entire IITB network itself, so that turns out to be idns.iitb.ac.in. Going one level up, you can also find out the name servers corresponding to ac.in. So there are quite a few. Let's find out who is the mail server corresponding to the iitb.ac.in domain. So this turns out to be dispatcher.iitb.ac.in. Similarly, if you want to know what the mail server is corresponding to csc.iitb.ac.in, this corresponds to jeeves.csc.iitb.ac.in. Let's check out some outside hosts. So let me find out what the IP address corresponding to facebook.com's web server is. So when I type this, as you can see, there are two entries as part of the answer section. One is a CNAME entry, which is saying that this internally maps to star.c10r.facebook.com, and the IP address corresponding to this canonical host name is 31.13.79.33. Let's check out the canonical name for this Microsoft web server. So let me type CNAME. So the canonical name for this particular web server is this toggle.www.ms.akdns.net. And if you actually try to find the type A entry corresponding to this, as you can see, this Microsoft.com has an alias, which is the canonical host name of this is Toggle. Toggle itself has another alias. This has another alias. Finally, you are getting the IP address corresponding to this. Let's also check out Google. So as you can see, the Google server the same host name is mapped to multiple IP addresses. This is because of the load balancing that I had mentioned earlier. So note that the first address ends with 112. If I type this again, what is going to come is the first entry has changed in that it now refers to 115. So this rotation helps load balancing. Google provides mail services. So let's check out who the mail servers of google.com are. So I'm typing this. So it again has many mail servers, and as you can see, there is this number associated with the mail servers which specifies the level of the mail server. So often you contact the mail server with the lowest number, in this case aspmx.1.google.com. In case you can't reach it, then you try the one with the next number, which is 20. So we have seen the use of type A records, type NS records, type MX records, and type CNAME records. We have also seen how host aliasing, mail server aliasing, and load distribution also gets done. So play around, and while you're doing this, you should also run a trace in Wireshark to capture the DNS messages and compare what is displayed to what is actually sent. I will leave the tracing as an exercise for you.